Hello and welcome to the ColorWorkYarn Podcast. My name is Allison. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast. I'm a fairly new podcaster, so I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time to check it out and to comment and everything that's been going on. It's very exciting. So in that realm, you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as ColorWorkYarn. And there's also a Ravelry group that is called ColorWorkYarn Podcast. And we have some forums in there for general chatter. I post the show notes in there as well as in the bottom bar below. So you can check that out and join the fun. We currently have a knit-along happening that is going on until October 31st, so Halloween. And the knit-along is called hashtag CW Christmas Cal, so ColorWorkYarn Christmas Knit-along. And the thought behind that is getting your Christmas work done early so that you can either have enough time to continue knitting all the way up to Christmas, like I will probably be doing, or to knit for fun, so you're not stressed about getting your knitting stuff done right before Christmas. So join the knit along. The prize is a skein of Colorwork Yarn Co.'s Christmas 2017 colorway, which no one has seen yet. So join the discussion in the Ravelry group. Post your finished object of a gift that you've knit for someone else. And I will be choosing a winner on October 31st, so it's very exciting. There are not very many entries, so you have a really high chance of winning. It's very good. Alrighty, let's get into it. The first thing we'll start with I have a couple of finished objects this week. So the first one is something I'm really excited to show you. It is called the Waiting for Rain shawl by Sylvia McFadden. And here it is. It's gonna not be possible to show you this whole thing in one shot, but I'll just kind of move slowly so you can see. It has some beautiful lace inserts. And then the rest is a really nice garter stitch. So this is in Hedgehog Fibers in the Sage colorway, which sage is green to me. So this is not, I wouldn't say this makes me think of sage. It's more of a Caribbean blue in my opinion, but I just think it's so perfect for the Waiting for Rain shawl. It's very water-like. So the construction of this is a crescent-shaped shawl. You start at the top with very few stitches and then increase quickly, like a basic normal crescent-shaped shawl. But then in order to increase depth as well as length, they have these little lace inserts that they're kind of a short row lace section, so they really increase the depth. And I just think it's so beautiful on. I love the shawl. It's my second time knitting it. The first time I relied heavily on you get two different PDFs with this pattern. So I relied heavily on the Hacking Waiting for Rain PDF that comes with the regular pattern PDF. And it tells you how to do two different colors or stripes or however you want to do it. And so I did it with two colors, with a light silvery gray and then a pale baby blue. And it's really beautiful. I love that shawl and I wear it all the time. And I did it with the optional Picot bind off, which was also really beautiful. So for this one, I wanted to do it in a solid color and without the Picot bind off, and I could not be happier with how it turned out. I love the contrast between the two. And I actually enjoyed making it the second time around. Enough time had gone by, I think, that I didn't feel constricted like I was making the same thing again. And that's kind of my issue with socks sometimes, is like, I don't want to make the same exact thing right after. So anyway, I really enjoyed making this the second time, and I love the yarn. I think it is really good for this project, and I knit it up with my Haya interchangeable set that I knit the majority of my things on. So I just really, really enjoyed that, and I love this project. If you haven't checked out Waiting for Rain by Sylvia McFadden, I would absolutely recommend that knit. It's very enjoyable. My second finished object is kind of, I don't think you can say it's an original design, because I very much based it off of another pattern I've done, but I did make parts of this up, and it is a hat, dun 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 dun, that I made for my sister. I'll get in close so you can see the pattern. Now I used the business class cowl by Kelly Sloan, and it's an interrupted rib pattern. And let's see, so I followed that pattern, only I made it the size of a hat rather than a big cowl. And then I kind of just hoped for the best in terms of the decreases, because it is this ribbed pattern. I'll try and find a space where I decrease so you can see, because eventually, there you can kind of see that decrease right here. Eventually your ribbing is going to not be in pattern anymore. So I kind of just fudged it a little bit, and honestly it's not noticeable on the hat, especially when it'll be worn. It's not noticeable, like what I mean is there are two knit stitches and a purl. So then when you come to decrease, then you're going to lose one of those stitches. So eventually you may have 3 knit stitches in the same, or in a row, rather than a knit purl. So eventually it all kind of works itself out, because then the next time you decrease, it's gonna lose one more stitch and then one more. So it kind of works out, and I'm really happy with this hat. This is in my hand-dyed yarn in the Peter colorway, which is my sister's husband. It's a colorway in his honor. And they both really like this color. I've made several things for both of them in this colorway. So my sister doesn't have curly hair, so it's going to look way cuter on her than it will on me, but I'll just show you what it looks like on. It's got a cute little pom-pom. And actually I did the pom-pom in a DK weight, and the hat is in a fingering weight. And I did that just so the pom-pom would stand out a little bit more, and it does. I'm pretty happy with the way that looks. So I think my sister will enjoy that. I've made her at least one hat. Actually I've made her more than one hat. But the latest hat that I had made her was in a cream color, and it looks adorable on her. She has really bright red hair, brighter than mine. So the cream hat looks really cute on her, but cream gets dirty and you wear her with makeup and it's hard to take care of. So I think she will really enjoy this. I'm excited to give it to her. And I'm thinking about making a hat for her son in the same colorway. Megan, if you're watching, no promises. But it really would be cute for them to have the same color hat. It'd probably be a different pattern, but just a thought. Okay, so my next project to show is actually a sock project. I have to be honest, I don't consider myself a sock knitter. I have never felt like I love making socks. I have to make a pair of socks with this yarn, or I've never felt that urge. I love the look of hand knit socks, and I love to wear hand knit socks, but up to this point, I haven't enjoyed making them. Now, with that being said, I think I am becoming a sock knitter. I found the Collywobbles sock pattern by, who's that by? Emily Estrada. Now, I think it was a combination of the pattern and also just finally having enough experience that I feel like I enjoy the process of making socks. I had tried making socks on double pointed needles, I had tried magic loop, and I had tried a 9-inch circular needle. I thought that I preferred the 9-inch circular, to be honest. Technical difficulties. Anyway, so I thought my preferred sock construction method was with a 9-inch circular needle. And that was the only way I had, the only way I had completed 2 socks, so an actual pair of socks. That being said, I only have 1 set of 9-inch circular needles, and I was in the middle of another sock project, but I wanted to start this one. So I thought, I'll give magic loop another try. I think I'm a magic loop sock knitter. I kind of just zoomed through this first sock, and I'll show you that. Like I said, it's the Collywobble sock. It's hard to see. This is kind of a speckly yarn, so you can see the pattern. They're like little X's on the front panel of sock. It's separated by a purl, knit one through the back loop purl. So it kind of offsets the panel in the center, and then when it's on and stretched out, it's much more obvious. It's very cute. And then the back is plain vanilla. The heel is what I really liked about this pattern. I've tried a traditional heel flap and gusset. I've tried a fish lips kiss heel, and I love the look of that one, but it doesn't fit me well. It's not deep enough, and I know that there is a way to make it deeper, but it's not my favorite fit. So this heel is a standard 2-inch heel flap, but then the gusset is on the bottom. And it's kind of hard to show on camera because this yarn is so speckled, but you see a little teardrop shape here. So this is the heel flap here, and then the gusset stitches come to a V on the bottom of the sock. So then the side stays flat rather than having the gusset on the side. I love it. I think it's a really, really smart construction, and I think this is my sock or my heel choice. I'll be incorporating this heel into all the socks that I make in the future. And then I haven't weaved in the end of this sock yet, and that's actually intentional. This sock is a gift, so I do know her shoe size, but I want her to try it on to make sure it fits well, and then once I know it fits, then I'll weave in the toe end. And if it doesn't, then I can more easily rip back and adjust accordingly. So I have that one done, and then I'm working on the second one. I'll just show you my progress on that. So I'm about halfway done, probably. I've done the leg, and then I'm almost done with the heel flap, and I have my cute little, it's backwards. Oh, I have it going this way. And my cute little Pegasus stitch marker, progress keeper from a homespun house, which I just love. It's my only progress keeper with the little claw, so I have it on all of my projects, but I love it. Anyway, so I like the top-down construction. I've done 10 rows of 2x2 rib. Normally I like a 1x1 twisted rib, but I just decided to follow the pattern exactly for this one. So we've got a 2x2 rib, And then I did 8 repeats of the pattern, so 8 X's, until I started the heel. I'm doing a 2-inch heel flap, then I'll turn the heel, and I believe this has 11 repeats of the pattern up to the toe, and then 2 inches for the toe. This is a size, she's between a size 9 and 9.5. So I just knit, I don't remember how many inches. I think it's 8 inches between the heel and the toe. There's a chart that I had heard about that gives you the exact measurements for each US shoe size. So it's really useful. I'll link to it because it's really awesome. You can knit for anybody you know as long as you know their shoe size. So I'm using the ColorWorkYarn red lace 40-inch cable, size US 1. So the ColorWorkYarns have this little like bent join, so the needle bends before it joins to the cable. And I've never knit with any other needles that are like that, so at first I wasn't sure if I liked it, but I've come to really like it, especially in Magic Loop, because it kind of just makes the loop much more gradual rather than kind of a really sharp curve that you might get with a straight needle. So like I said, I think I've been converted. I think I will enjoy making socks from here on out, which is really exciting, especially because my family members have requested hand knit socks, and it's just kind of a daunting task if it's not something you like to do. So I'm glad that I like doing it now. I think part of it too is that I'd always knit, not always, I did one pattern sock, but aside from that, I had always done vanilla socks, and it's just kind of boring for me, and it's a fiddly process, so I just wanted it to be more enjoyable. And I think finally I've found my tension is more even with the tiny needles, and I've enjoyed the Magic Loop construction. So yay! If you are maybe haven't had a lot of luck with sock knitting, I would encourage you to keep trying it, and you don't even have to finish both socks, just keep trying it and keep trying different constructions until you find something that works for you, because it's really quite enjoyable. And maybe if you don't enjoy it, then also don't beat yourself up about it, because there are so many things to knit that you don't have to be a sock knitter in order to be a great knitter or anything like that. So don't get hung up on it, is my unsolicited advice. Next, those are really my only finished objects, and actually my only work in progress. I do have 2 other projects that have been kind of just staring at me from my knitting basket. I'm halfway done with another sock project that I have shown on a past podcast, but I haven't made any progress, so I'm not going to show it again until I do make progress. And then the other project is the Puntilla sweater by Joji Locatelli. I believe I think I only have 1 sleeve to go, but maybe it's just because, I was doing sock knitting, which is all stockinette, and then the Puntilla sweater, which is all stockinette, and then I have the lace underneath the bottom and underneath the sleeve ribbing. That detail to me is why I love this sweater and why I want to continue making this sweater. That lace detail is so beautiful, it's so subtle, I just love it. But I'm not to that point yet, so I have not made any progress with it. I haven't touched it since the last time I showed it on the podcast. So I started it in January. I probably won't finish it till next January. It's a very long-term project. And I'm okay with that. It's okay to take a break to make things for other people, in my opinion. So that's where I am with that. Upcoming projects I have in mind. I have a few more Christmas projects to make. I have socks planned for my grandmother that I just dyed up some yarn for her. It's drying, so I can't show the actual yarn, but it's in the Lulu colorway, which is my hand-dyed yarn. This is the singles fingering weight yarn, so obviously I wouldn't make socks from that. I do love a single weight yarn though, or a single ply, not a single weight. But anyway, this is the colorway called Lulu. It is dyed with kind of the standard nail polish that she wears in mind. Or yes, okay, so I've then knit that up on a different base that's more appropriate for socks, and actually, since she's my grandmother, I'm going to be doing it on some cashmere. It'll be my merino nylon cashmere base in the same Lulu colorway, so I'll definitely show those once I've made some progress on the socks. I haven't even started it at this point. I just dyed up some yarn for that, and I'm planning to do the Fine and Dandy socks by Jessica Gore. They're really precious looking socks. I don't think I've ever knit anything for my grandmother, but I have. It's just a long time ago, and it was like a headband or something. So this will be a really cool thing to give her some really nice cashmere blended socks for her to wear. I think she'll really enjoy that. She also wears a size 9, but she wears a narrow. She has a 9 narrow. So I don't know that will necessarily change my stitch count. She may just have a little bit of a looser ease to the socks, because I think she'd be wearing them at home. I don't think she would really wear them underneath her shoes, so it's not that important to me that they have a lot of negative ease for her. I think they'll be more comfortable with a more positive ease. Not a positive ease, but is neutral ease a thing? I don't know. I just want them to fit. I don't want them to be tight. So I think I'll stay with the 64-inch or 64 stitches cast on that I'm doing with the ColorWorkYarn sock, and I may do a little bit longer of a leg than I did on these ColorWorkYarn socks. We'll see. Now that I'm a magic loop knitter, I can just zoom on by and knit whatever I want with socks. So I'll show those when I've made some progress on them, or when I've started them in general. So that's a Christmas gift, and then the next Christmas gift after that I'd like to do are hats for my niece. My niece is 8, and she's very into her American Girl dolls right now. So I found a cute little pattern on Ravelry that is they're hats for the 18-inch American Girl doll, and it's kind of a standard slouchy hat with a pom-pom, so I figured that'd be easy enough to make a hat in her size as well. That way she can have a hat that matches her doll, that she can wear that matches her doll. It's kind of fun. It's something that I would have loved when I was her age, so I hope that she also loves that, because when you're 8, getting handmade things is fine. It's, it's cool, it's fine, especially if everybody else is getting handmade things. But if it's something that you can play with, then I think that would be even more fun. So I'll be doing that for my niece, and then I'd like to finish those 2 projects that I mentioned that are just staring at me from my knitting basket. They're very judgmental when they look at me, like, finish me, finish me. I'll get to them, who knows. But other than that, I think I mentioned I showed the sweater that I made for my nephew, my 1-year-old nephew. He's not 1, he's 9 months. Yeah. And my sister and I were talking about it, and we decided that it'd be best if I sent the sweater because it will probably fit at Christmas, but he's not going to have a ton of time after that. I did make the 1 to 2 year old size. This is the Tin Can Knits Flax Light sweater that I made. And I did make the 1 to 2 year old size, but I think it's just it's a small pattern, and Oscar's not a small child. So we decided that I would send it now. That way he can wear it now until he grows out of it, and he'll get a lot more use out of it this way. And oh my God, am I so glad I did, because he is so cute in this sweater. If I can figure it out, I'll put in a picture of him wearing it. But otherwise, I will link to my Ravelry page with him in it because it's just so precious. He's so cute. I'm biased about his cuteness, but this sweater has made him even cuter. So it's always fun for me to make things for people and then see them wear it or see them enjoying it. It's a cool thing as a knitter to know that I'm making something that somebody will enjoy rather than I think we've all received the gift that has either been made for us or even was purchased for us that was just like, oh, okay, thank you. And, you spend so much time knitting these beautiful projects that you don't want somebody to be kind of just laissez-faire about their reaction. Is laissez-faire what I mean? Mediocre. You don't want somebody to just not be excited about it when you're excited about it and you worked really hard to make it for them. So it's cool to give things to babies who it doesn't matter if they like it or not. They just look cute. But with that being said, all of my family members that I knit for are very gracious gift receivers. And I make it a point to not knit for people who don't appreciate it. That's just, I'd rather knit for myself than to knit for somebody who won't really like it or won't take care of it or whatever, That's my philosophy. So I guess that's kind of it for my knitting talk. This past weekend, I was over at my mom's. My mom and her husband just redid their house. And while I say that, it was just completed. This has been kind of a long process. They started, I actually don't even remember. I want to say it was like the end of August that they began, but I don't really remember. But they live in a ranch style home, so they moved all of their a lot of their like big furniture items out into their garage and then would park in the driveway. And then all of their things that couldn't stay in the garage, they moved down to their basement, including themselves. So they've lived in the basement of their house for this however long that the project took, while the upstairs was being completely redone, and then they built on an extension out the back. So it's a ranch style house, and then the kitchen and living space was in the back of the house. And so they have then built on, I don't know how many additional feet the new room is, and then knocked out 2 walls. So now you can come in the front door and then see all the way to the back of the house. It's awesome. It is so awesome. I love it, and I love spending time over there. It's so beautiful. So this past weekend, I was over there kind of just putting stuff away with my mom. She has like some really beautiful china pieces that were my stepfather's mother. So they're kind of passed down. And she's had like a few different sets of china, and they're really beautiful, and I love looking through them. And so my job was to put them all away in this hutch that they have. Well, I am a very meticulous person, so I laid everything out on their new dining table and then kind of organized what I thought should be placed near each other, and then slowly put everything in the hutch, and then anything that didn't fit went in the two like cabinets that close on the bottom of the hutch. I don't know exactly how long it took me, probably an hour or more to put all of this stuff away. More than an hour. I don't know. It took me a while. And I would just put stuff away and then step back and look and then put more things away. And I really think I did a great job. But also it was just really fun. I liked doing that. It reminded me of when I was a little girl playing with like my tea sets and things like that. And it was nice. And then while I was doing that in the dining room area, my mom was in the kitchen putting stuff away. But like I said, everything is open now. So we were basically in the same large room. So that was kind of my weekend was over there putting stuff away with her and kind of making their new house a home. So it was really nice. I really enjoyed doing that. And then next weekend, I'm actually going up to visit some friends. Before I moved here, I lived in Chicago and was a nanny. And I nannied for 2 little boys. One was, when I started, he was 18 months. And then the younger one was actually not even born yet when I started. The mom was like 7 months pregnant. And then I continued nannying for them until the little one was 11 months old. So over a year that I was with these boys, and also the mom was a stay-at-home mom, so she was around a lot. And so I was really close with her and really close with the boys, and, have since moved away. But I'm going to go visit them next weekend, and I'm so excited. The boys are going to be huge. I mean, it's a year later already, so the boys are like, I'm not even going to recognize them. It's so crazy. I can't believe, I see videos on Instagram of the boys, and the little one who was 11 months wasn't walking when I left, and now he's walking and talking, and oh my God, I can't believe it. And the older one he was my buddy. We were very good pals, so I'm really curious to see. I think the older one will remember me. He was 2.5 and now he's 3. I think he'll remember me, but the little one, I don't imagine will know who I am at all. So I'm really excited to go see them, and my husband's going to go with me, and we're actually going to stay the night with the boys while the parents go to a wedding. So I think it'll be really fun and just nice to see them again. So, and it'll be fun to go there with my husband. I think we'll have a good time and enjoy seeing the little ones. So I think that's about all I have for today. I would love to see you in the Ravelry group or on Instagram, and please feel free to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. If I'd love to connect with you. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye. Do